Hello everybody and welcome back to The Big Hit. I'm Joey Crissman and beside me is Nathan Osler. We are currently in week 6 of the NFL season and there already have been a lot of teams surpassing expectations. However, at the same time, there have been a lot of teams that haven't even reached expectations.
That's right. Now let's take a look at the two teams that we have above expectations.
The Arizona Cardinals are sitting at an extremely impressive 5-0 record, which obviously puts them first in one of the toughest divisions in the NFL. Kyler Murray is playing like an MVP right now, having a career-best 75 completion percentage and a passer rating of 113, also a career best. He is a big reason why the Arizona Cardinals offense is ranked 5th in the league. If we take a look on the defensive side of the ball, we see one of the best pass rushers in the league, Chandler Jones, who is currently in a 5-way tie for 4th place with 5 sacks on the season. The Cardinal defense is no strangers to forcing turnovers either, having 8 forced fumbles and recovering 5 of them on the year. After going 8-8 the year prior, the expectations for the Arizona Cardinals were mild at best. But nobody thought the Cardinals were going to be ahead of the Rams, let alone the Seahawks in the division. I see this Arizona Cardinals team becoming a real threat in the postseason.
The Cardinals are definitely a great choice to put at that position. For me though, my top team this season would be the LA Chargers. The Chargers currently sit atop a very powerful AFC West with a 4-1 record. The offense to me could easily become one of the best in the league. Quarterback Justin Herbert is playing like an MVP candidate as of now. With 1,576 yards of passing and 13 touchdown passes, Herbert is ranked 4th in the league. Austin Eckler running the ball has been stellar as well. Currently he has 349 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns. The Chargers have had an impressive wins over the Chiefs, Browns, and Raiders. The upcoming schedule for them also is fairly easy. The Chargers could definitely be a threat for the top seed in the AFC playoff picture after this nice start.
With the way the offseason went, the expectations for the Pittsburgh Steelers weren't very high to begin with. But over the course of 5 weeks, we've seen the Steelers fall lower and faster than anticipated. One of the biggest issues last year was their O-line, and with the Steelers losing 80% of their O-line from retirement or free agency, we knew there was going to be some growing pains. Over the course of 5 games, the Pittsburgh Steelers have posted the second fewest rushing yards with only 368 for the season. That's right below the 1-4 New York Jets with 370. The Steelers drafted Alabama prospect Najee Harris in the first round, hoping to fix the running game, but as we've seen, Najee can only do so much. Sticking with the offense, Ben Roethlisberger continues to show his age with him having his 3rd worst passer rating of his career. It's gotten so bad that some Steeler Nation fans have already started writing his obituary and calling for his retirement. The Pittsburgh Steelers are currently last in their division with very few easy games left. We'll have to wait and see if this is the year Mike Tomlin finally suffers a losing season.
After 2 straight Super Bowl teams, the Kansas City Chiefs came into this season as the favorite for many. They currently, though, are sitting at a rough 2-3 start to their season. Losses to the Bills, Ravens, and Chargers have many questioning the team's situation right now. To build on to this, the Browns are very close to defeating them in Week 1, so the Chiefs have narrowly avoided a 1-4 start. Quarterback Patrick Mahomes has not been the most impressive. Mahomes already is sitting at 6 interceptions. An interesting note about this is that Mahomes only had 6 interceptions all of last season. This is definitely something you do not want to see from a player like Mahomes. Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce have each been putting up amazing stats each game, but 2 players do not win it for the team. The defense has not looked the best as well. It is a long season and the Chiefs have a fairly easy schedule remaining. The consistency is worrying to see though. They are struggling against the up-and-coming talented teams of the league. The Chiefs now know that they have some competition this year for the AFC title.
For the Las Vegas Raiders, Derek Carr is having an amazing start to the season. He's thrown for over 1,600 yards for the season already. That puts him in 2nd place right behind future Hall of Famer quarterback Tom Brady. The Raiders offense still has the same weapons as before, featuring superstar tight end Darren Waller, speedster Henry Ruggs, and workhorse Josh Jacobs. Their defense has been pretty solid as well, ranking 5th in yards allowed and 7th in touchdowns given up. The Raiders are tied for 2nd place in the division with the Denver Broncos.
A team that I think many have slept on before this season are the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas currently is sitting at a solid 4-1 record within the very lackluster NFC East. The Cowboys have had their share of an easy schedule to start the year, with wins against the Eagles, Panthers, and Giants. They also managed to upset Justin Herbert and the Chargers in a 20-17 win over the Chargers. The only losses came to the hand of Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Dak Prescott has looked very good this year. Currently, he sits at 1,368 passing yards along with 13 touchdown passes. He is averaging a very solid 8.3 yards per attempt as well. Ezekiel Elliott is doing what he does best. He is putting up great numbers. CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper have been doing their thing as well. The Cowboys also have an elusive weapon in tight end, Dalton Schultz. The offense has been amazing. There is one thing the Cowboys have been stellar with though, and that would be the defense. The team as a whole has recorded a league-best 10 interceptions through the first 5 games of the year. Cornerback Trayvon Diggs has been the X factor though. He alone has recorded 6 interceptions, along with one of those going for a touchdown. This Dallas team could be a threat to make a postseason push, but it could also be really early to determine if they are the real deal.
The Jacksonville Jaguars drafted Trevor Lawrence first overall and signed previous Ohio State coach Urban Meyer to try and change the organization around after going 1-15 the previous year. While the expectations weren't enormous, nobody thought the Jaguars would be this deep in trouble. Last in the division with an 0-5 record, a rookie quarterback with 8 picks on the year already, and a head coach who was caught having too much fun with a college girl in a bar being unfaithful to his wife and family. To make matters worse, Urban Meyer is being openly mocked and ridiculed by his own players. He has completely lost control of the locker room. It's only week 5, but it feels like the Jaguars are looking toward the 2022 NFL draft to see which NFL hopeful's career they can burn to the ground. The Jaguars haven't won a game since September of 2020. That's 20 games they've lost in a row. Will the Jaguars win a game this year? Possibly, but unless Urban Meyer can somehow savage the absolute atrocity of an atmosphere he's created, might as well start every mock draft with the Jags.
The Seattle Seahawks are in a tough situation. Currently sitting at 2-3, tied for last in a very stacked NFC West, losses to the Titans, Vikings, and Rams did not look great. The NFC West, in my opinion, is the best division in football right now. The Seahawks have the potential, but have recently found out very bad news that could derail some postseason hopes. It was announced this last week that quarterback Russell Wilson suffered an injury and will be out for about a month. So far this season, Wilson has had 1,196 passing yards, along with 10 touchdowns and only 1 interception. This is a tough blow for the Seahawks. Seattle will now have to turn to what looks like Geno Smith for about 4 weeks. Due to this, I expect the offense to slow down a tad. Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf have been amazing, but will the quarterback change be a factor? I think so. The next 4 games for the Seahawks include the Pittsburgh Steelers, New Orleans Saints, Jacksonville Jaguars, and Green Bay Packers. These could all be tough games without Wilson, and I think this could be a do-or-die portion of the season for the Seahawks. The NFC West is just too tough to fall too far behind. You have the Cardinals, who are undefeated, Rams at 4-1, and the very pesky 49ers, who could always be a sneaky team at 2-3 as well. It is going to be a tough road ahead for the Seahawks.
Well, everybody, that's it for this segment. Stay tuned as we'll be sitting down with the IUP Volleyball head coach and some of their players. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Big Hit. I'm Joey Crissman. I'm here with Nicole Peterson, a member of the IUP Volleyball team. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good. So let's get this interview started. In 2019, you joined the Crimson Hawks as a freshman. During your freshman year, you led the team with 313 kills and 344 points. You were the first freshman to lead IUP in those categories since Laura Hall in 1999, which is a Hall of Famer, by the way. Even though you came in and already made a tremendous impact, do you still feel like you have more to prove to the people watching and maybe your teammates?
I do. I definitely have so much more that I learned from freshman year that I can do better, meaning like errors and hitting percentages. And I still am that kind of go-to girl, so it's just getting better so I can remain that role and limiting those errors and scoring more points for the team.
In 2018, you played outside hitter and led the team with 208 kills and a total of 58 blocks. However, in 2019, you transitioned from outside hitter to middle blocker. That year, you led the Hawks with .86 block per set as the middle blocker. Was it easy to transition?
So I did struggle, I will say. I actually, all throughout my career before in high school, I was a middle blocker. So then when I got recruited as an outside, I was like, okay, I just popped in and kind of tried it, and I ended up doing pretty well. So that was definitely a harder transition. And then when I got put back in the middle, it was kind of what I was comfortable with. So again, going back and forth was a struggle, but when I got back to the middle, I was very comfortable with what I was used to.
So let's say that a outside hitter kind of went down. Would you kind of be like the backup or maybe the emergency outside hitter if somebody were to go down?
So right now we have about 4 or 5 girls that play that position, so I would not be. Right now I'm pretty solid in the middle, so I would be sticking in the middle. I mean, I can swing out there if needed, but definitely most comfortable in the middle and probably staying there for the rest of the year.
In 2018, you graduated from Geneva High School in Ohio. That same year, you joined IUP as a freshman. What was it about IUP that made you decide to come here?
the facilities were everything to me, and then the team bonding that I had in my experience with getting recruited here was just amazing. I felt at home the second I stepped foot on campus. Like, I had 3 other recruits that week, and this place just blew every other school out of the water.
So you mentioned it felt like home. This is the same thing I asked, I think, Nicole.
Yeah.
What was it specifically that made it feel like home to you?
Just like the environment. I've never felt like it was like a car, like you go to a car dealership and you see like a car that you really liked, like that, I don't know, it just felt like it was mine already. Like being here just felt like I belonged here. I don't know, it was a very weird feeling and I've never felt that before.
I mean, I understand what you felt because when I came here, you know, in this major, I felt like this is kind of where I wanted to be. So college can be very overwhelming, especially for college athletes who have to balance academics on winning games on the court. How do you balance the two?
Well, time management is everything. So basically at the beginning of every week, like we push out all of our homework like tonight and tomorrow. Well, maybe not tomorrow because we have a game. But the first like 3 days of the week, we just try and get all of our homework done. So then all we focus on from Wednesday to Sunday is our games, and then are just able to relax and focus on recovery and everything like that.
Yeah, I know obviously you learn a lot in practice from drills and whatnot, but have you learned anything from the game, is maybe from mistakes you've made or maybe from mistakes of your teammates that you may not want to do again?
Oh yeah, because coming into college, it's a different game from high school. Faster pace, bigger girls. Girls are so much older than you. When you're a freshman, they're seniors. So definitely learning from those mistakes and not doing it again.
Now, in a tweet I saw regarding you, what you said about IUP is that it felt like home to you. Obviously, you hear a lot about this all the time, players saying, oh, this place felt like home, this feels like home. What about IUP exactly feels like home to you?
It was just how welcoming everyone was in the athletic administration as well as academic administration. I was able to meet professors and they were just so excited about what they teach here at IUP, and then coming and seeing the athletic facilities, how could you not want to play in the arena we play in? And then I'm able to meet the team and they're just so welcoming. You can tell that they want you to be a teammate and they want you to be a Crimson Hawk.
Back in June of 2020, you were named the 8th head coach of the IUP Women's Volleyball team. Before that, you had 26 years under your belt with a total of 447 victories, coaching at University of North Carolina, Winthrop University, and Eastern Carolina University. Out of all the years that you have coaching, is there a specific moment that stands out to you, whether it's good or bad?
Yeah, I mean, I've won a couple of championships. Those are always memorable moments. You know, we beat NC State a couple years ago and we were down 2 and came back on their court in front of a couple thousand people and played it. I brought a couple teams up to Penn State, my alma mater, to play. So those were some memorable moments as well.
Speaking of Penn State, you played middle back and defensive specialist under legendary head coach Russ Rose. While playing for Penn State and being coached under him, you helped lead the team to 4 Atlantic 10 championships, 4 NCAA regional appearances, and a perfect 31-0 conference record. How big of an influence was Russ on your coaching career?
Oh, he's my mentor, my idol. Just growing up, went to all their camps. You know, I grew up in Western Pennsylvania, so it was just the greatest program, and I loved every second of it. He's been instrumental in guiding my career, and he's really like a second father to me. So I've known him since I was 10.
Are you still in contact with him?
Oh yeah, we just went to the Northwestern game the other night, so it's very nice. That was one of the very good perks about coming here, is I'd be close, you know, to be able to go back, and he's there, and he's got, you know, a former player that's his assistant. So, you know, the Penn State family is very strong, and the tradition for volleyball is very strong as well.
Beside middle blocker, every player has a role, whether it's a team player, leader, energizer, entertainer. Beside middle blocker, what is your role like those 4?
Okay, so I would consider myself a leader. I also consider myself like the hype man of the team. Like, I'm super loud. I don't know if you do any of our games, but you can always hear me on the sidelines, or if I'm in the game, just constantly talking to my teammates, bringing the energy. So I would definitely consider myself the hype man of the group. And then with that comes leadership, as like I try to lead by example. So just always talking. Communication's a huge thing in our sport. So always talking to my teammates about what's open on the court or what to do next. So I would consider that, you know, a leadership role.
Do you have a specific, because a lot of athletes have a specific ritual chant that they do. Do you have a specific like chant that you guys do to get your team up or maybe the fans hyped up?
Yeah, so before games we do a kind of like a clap ritual where we like start slow and then we build up. And then I'm the one in the middle that says like, Hawks on 3, 1, 2, 3, Hawks, and then we all clap. So that's like our pregame ritual that we'll do in the hallway that you guys don't really get to see.
I wish I saw that.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you do pregame that you kind of do as like a ritual to kind of get into the mindset of the player?
Yeah, music. And yeah, we listen to music and we'll sing and dance, and that's a big thing. And just like being aware all day of like making sure I'm eating right and making sure I have all my schoolwork done in the very beginning of the morning, so I'm not focused on anything else throughout the whole day. I'm just literally focused on volleyball.
What's your go-to music?
Rap.
Rap?
Yeah.
What's your favorite artist?
Oh, I don't know. I like all of them. Like we just do like a bunch of like old school, like 2000s type thing in the locker room.
So like a lot of 50 Cent,
Yes.
Snoop Dogg.
Yep.
I mean, they got good music still. I'll give you that.
And then of course the TikTok songs that we all listen to and do dances too.
Of course. You guys make TikToks too?
Yes.
Make sure to give them a follow. I'll probably
Yes.
I'll try to put their at like right here. But you are a senior,
Yes.
and obviously your 2020 season got kind of wiped because of COVID, and you're coming back here with 11-10 record. With this being your senior year, do you have any goals or final goals you want to accomplish before you leave?
I just personally want to be able to make it to PSACs. I mean, NCAA is always the dream, but just being able to make it to PSACs, because in the past that was just never even an option for us. And to end this year with a winning season and just knowing that we all put our all into this season and just didn't fold over like we have in the past few years.
But you're also known as the winningest coach at ECU with 109 wins and UNC with 304 wins. Now, in the past 2 years, 2018, 2019, IUP has kind of struggled a little bit, only winning 14 games those past seasons. And then you're coming in here as an extremely winning coach. What were some of the challenges you've had to face trying to get IUP back to that winning way?
I think mostly just the belief that we can win here. You know, like once you learn to lose or you're not successful, you can get in a habit of that. It's just to overcome and believe that we can do that. Every single program that I've taken over in my career has had a losing season when I got there, and every single program when I left, it was a winning program when I left. So I'm very proud of that fact, and I intend to do that here as well.
Speaking of confidence, in an article written by The Pen, you mentioned that being mentally resilient is a big part of being consistent. Can you go into detail of what it truly means to be mentally resilient?
I think just not ever backing down to adversity. I mean, when you get pushed down, you know, or the score is, you know, not in your favor, how you're going to rise above that. And I just look at that as that's mental adversity, and they need to be more mentally resilient. Confidence is a huge factor in athletics. The mental aspect is such a bigger focus now than it's ever been. And so we really just want them to be strong competitors, work hard every day, just try to get better, and then the results are going to come.
Beside the position on the court, every player has a specific role or, position. Leaders, team players, energizers, entertainers, people that kind of get the crowd going and whatnot. So beside being an outside hitter, do you have a specific role like those that you have on the team?
More of a leader. I'm not as much as the entertainers. We have other girls who get hype on the court and they help us out. But being an outside hitter, you kind of take over that leadership role because you normally stay on the court all 6 rotations. So they always look at you, and we usually are the go-to on the sets. If the set is off the net, we can't run the middle, so it goes to the outside. So you kind of just take on that leadership role knowing that I'm getting most of these sets and I have to put them away.
Is there a position that you don't think gets enough respect or at least enough notice on the court?
I think that setters should get a little bit more respect. They are the quarterbacks of our team, so they run the plays, and they do so much more, I think, than people expect, because it looks good when we get the kill, the set is what helped us get that kill. But everyone's looking at the hitter because they did a great job, but so did the setter.
Do you have any personal goals for the season? Obviously, the big one is winning a championship. But
Right.
I want to know if you have any maybe statistical goals or maybe like a team goal that you want.
Yeah, so right now I'm actually leading in aces on our team, and I'm ranked in the PSAC. So one of my goals is to be at least top 10 in the PSAC for aces. And then another one I am really looking forward to is hitting percentages. So it's basically your kills versus errors versus your attempts. And right now I think I was number 9 just this past weekend. So I'd like to be top 5 at the end of the year in the PSAC.
It's honestly very impressive.
Thank you.
But since we all are college students and we all know how overwhelming college work can be, especially
Right.
with us transitioning back into, waking up and trying to get to classes.
Right.
But it can be even harder and more stressful for college athletes like yourself who have to not only balance college work but also trying to, work on the court and trying to win games. So how do you balance succeeding on the court as well as succeeding in the classroom?
So I will say I'm a very scheduled person. Like I wake up and I have the same routine every day. It's nice knowing, in the summer what my school schedule will already look like. So then when summer comes, we have our practice times already scheduled. So again, I'm waking up, I'm eating at this exact time, I'm doing homework from this time to this time in class, and then practice. It's literally the same schedule every single day, and as long as I block off time for homework and time to study, that's how I keep on top of my schoolwork. And then I do leave time, for if I have to go to treatment or something like that with volleyball, or just time to stretch, or even just time to meditate and clear my mind, because I do need some time of the day to just not think about anything. So I'm definitely a very scheduled person, and time management is huge with being a college athlete. So that's just the way I keep things rolling, is with a schedule.
So speaking of, mental health, you're a big advocate for fitness as well. As I know, you are a member of a CrossFit gym on your home state of Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
So exactly, how does CrossFit obviously, you have to be in tip-top shape to be, an athlete.
Right.
So exactly, how does CrossFit translate to you playing volleyball?
So I consider CrossFit my second sport. It's definitely a huge competition all the time. Every workout is a competition. I'm trying to beat out the person next to me, and I'm trying to make sure the person behind me isn't catching up to me. So that's where the competitive side of me comes out a lot. Like I said, every workout is literally, I'm either trying to get to a certain number or I'm trying to beat a certain time. And just like in volleyball, I'm either, trying to beat a certain girl on the other side of the net, or I'm trying to beat, the girl behind me that wants my spot. So I definitely think that when I do go home and I'm in off season, that I'm still competing every day in the gyms.
How did you react when you found out that your head coach, who has 400 wins, was going to be coaching you guys this year?
We were so excited when we saw that she was from Penn State, we saw she was from ECU, already a D1 coach, had a bunch of winning seasons. Like, we were just so excited for the program in the future. It was going to be something that we definitely needed.
Did she do anything to kind of get to know you girls before the actual season starts to kind of build that trust and that chemistry?
Yeah, we had a lot of Zoom meetings that she just kind of talked to us about, and then the first day we got to campus during COVID, she had a team meeting with us and met with us and introduced herself and basically just told us what expectations were, and then we started the following couple weeks just being around her all the time and just figuring out how this thing was going to work with everyone, and just COVID made it hard, but she made it very easy to communicate with her through Zoom and everything like that.
I've also noticed you've held a higher standard for academics as well. I think I said the consistent or the cumulative GPA of your team is a 3.25 or higher. Say if somebody is kind of struggling with the GPA, but maybe it's below that, is there something that you do that maybe help them bump them up, or at least trying to get them better, try to meet the standard?
Believe it or not, I track all their academics. I have 20 players, and I track all their academic assignments on Outlook, because right now we have study hall virtually. We don't have in-person study hall due to COVID, so we do study hall on the road whenever we travel. But that's a way for me to track what they have going on academically. Maybe they have, this week is a particularly busy week for them, with a lot of midterm exams and papers due. And so by me putting it in the Outlook calendar, each one of them every week, I know what they have assignment-wise, and I can kind of, gives me another avenue that I can talk to them about and communicate with them over and make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to, which is most importantly is that they get a degree here. And I think if, they want to be excellent on the court, they also need to be excellent in the classroom. They need to be an excellent person, how they carry themselves. And comprehensive success is something that's really important to me. So if we were just a winning volleyball program, but we didn't do well academically and we weren't doing the right things socially, I would be disappointed in that. I want them to be a well-rounded person that's doing the right things in all areas of their life.
I spoke to the three, and they said that some of them have a little bit of a pre-game ritual. Do you have anything like that?
Absolutely. Like on game day, I really like to take it easy, you know, just get my thoughts together for the match. I need to be rested. We don't play until 7 o'clock, you know, tomorrow night, for instance. So I want to make sure that I'm still fresh at 9 o'clock at night and not super tired if that's when we play, or if we play in the afternoon. You know, it varies, but I definitely like to go through the game plan, you know, by myself and just listen to some classical music or some calming music, peaceful music. Maybe go for a run if I have time. You know, just some things like alone time, you know, time for me to be by myself so I have clarity before we go into the match.
The last season you had before this was 2019, and it was a pretty rough one for you guys,
Yep.
7 and 21. 2020 season got canceled because of COVID, but now you guys have been completely revamped, 11 and 10 with the new head coach, by the way. A very credible head coach, Julie Torbett. And so how did you react when you found out that you're getting a new head coach after everything that's happened?
We were so excited. We were just coming off of an awful season. Losing record just wasn't ideally what we wanted. So with the new coach coming in, it was just a breath of fresh air, a restart. And I think that's definitely what she did for us. It was disappointing not being able to play last year, but it gave us more time to practice, learn her style of play so that we could come out this fall and play her style.
The last question, probably the biggest one. What do you hope to accomplish this year?
I want to have a winning season for the team. You know, we obviously have already met some of our goals because we're about a little over halfway through. So, you know, we definitely wanted to exceed the win total from 2019. We've already done that. We wanted to break the attendance record, and we did that. We had 852 people, so that was, we had to break a 5:15. And then we want to have a winning record this season, which is very attainable for us to accomplish and make it to the conference tournament. You know, I think that those were 4 solid goals for us to have, and we're halfway there, and we have enough matches, like I said, to accomplish the other 2. And then in the future, obviously, we want to win PSAC championships. If that happens this year, amazing. But, you know, if it doesn't, I want to be on the correct trajectory for the program and just attract some really good recruits and quality people to come in to the program and just continue to elevate it.
I definitely think you have the talent and, of course, the experience to do all that stuff. But that is it for the interviews. Please stay tuned for more The Big Hit on IUP-TV.